Over the weekend, we had the brand new Salvation's Edge raid drop, and the community had quite the time defeating the Witness. I was able to finally get my full clear in, and I got the pulse rifle to drop called Nullify. I went and did some testing with it, and wow, this weapon is actually pretty special. It's one of our first legendary heavy burst pulse rifles in Destiny, meaning it doesn't shoot in bursts of 3 or 4, it shoots in bursts of 2, similar to the exotics Graviton Lance and Revision Zero. The role I had dropped for me is Heal Clip and Chaos Reshaped. Chaos Reshaped is a new perk that seems to only be dropping on Salvation's Edge weapons. The perk reads, this weapon gains bonus damage while in combat for an extended time. Remaining in combat for even longer rewards a larger damage bonus that periodically heals the wielder. I know, it sounds a lot like the perk Frenzy, so I fully tested what Chaos Reshaped does, and I got the numbers for y'all. So being in combat for 12 seconds will grant you Chaos Reshaped times 1, which is a flat 20% damage buff. This is the same amount of time it takes to proc Frenzy, which is a 15% damage buff. Now, being in combat for 24 seconds will grant you Chaos Reshaped times 2. Chaos Reshaped times 2 does not only increase your damage buff up to 35%, but it also heals you periodically. It was really hard to test exactly how the healing works, but it seems about every 5 seconds or so, it will give you a decent chunk of health. The exact amount of health it gives, however, is still unclear. But as you can tell by the numbers, this is literally just a way better version of Frenzy that can get you up to a 35% buff and heal you. And the fact that this can roll with Heal Clip and double dip on the damage perks is so awesome. What will be really interesting to see is what the enhanced version of this perk will do. It could reduce the amount of time you need to be in combat, or give you a higher damage buff, or increase how often it heals you, or how much health it gives you per heal. We won't really know until the API is updated to include raid weapons and the perks at weekly reset. The other new perk on Nullify is the origin trait for all of the Salvation's Edge weapons called Collective Purpose. This reads, gain bonus range and handling when near allies. Bows receive faster draw time, and swords receive faster charge time. The effect scales with the number of allies. Not sure on the numbers for this one, but it's definitely noticeable, especially when you have like 5 allies next to you. It's actually really nice to have. Now, for the rest of the perk pool, we also have a ton of other good options. In the third column, we're going to look at perks like Firefly, Rapid Hit, and of course, Heal Clip. In the fourth column, you have great choices too, like Incandescent or yes, Chaos Reshaped. Some cool perk combos would be like Firefly and Incandescent. Firefly would make targets explode and deal solar damage, and then Incandescent would make targets explode as well and scorch nearby enemies. You'd constantly have massive solar explosions going off everywhere after every kill, and this could be a really strong combo. You could also opt for Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie if you wanted to make a grenade focus build, or even Rapid Hit and Chaos Reshaped if you're always staying in the fight. As I said, there's a ton of really good options here that you have to choose from. It all just kind of depends on your playstyle and personal preference. Now, the way you acquire this pulse rifle is of course through completing the Salvation's Edge raid. It can randomly drop from completing the first encounter called Substratum, the third encounter called Repository, or from the Witness in the final boss fight. You can then buy more rolls of this pulse rifle from the vendor at the end of the raid, and the first one you buy every week will be a red border. You can also do the red border puzzle in the raid once per week to have another chance at another red border pulse rifle. Once you get 5 deep sight versions of the gun, you can craft it and enhance all of the perks and make this thing an absolute monster. That is my full breakdown of the new 2-burst pulse rifle from the Salvation's Edge raid called Nullify. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, make sure to subscribe to not miss any more of my Final Shape content, and like the video to help it recommend it for others. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time.